Hey everyone, this is Megan.
And Darla. We are your hosts of the Enlighten Benefits podcast.
Our goal is to help you understand all things insurance. In each episode, we will tackle the confusing topics and terminology as it relates to insurance.
We want to create confidence over confusion and make insurance suck less.
We hope you enjoy our show. Hey Darla.
What's up, Megan?
What's up? Hey, we've got a special guest in our studio today. I'd like to welcome Lauren Jenkins to the podcast.
Hello.
Hello. Lauren, tell us who you are and what you do for our community.
So, yes, my name is Lauren Jenkins, and so we focus on individual and family health insurance. So there's two different types kind of as far as segments go, with group and your employer insurance. And then there's family and individual insurance, and they're very different.
Very different.
And so really that's kind of just our specialty. And because they're so different and because it's important to know the nuances between the two. So that's what we do.
Well, Darla and I are very, very thankful for our partnership and relationship with you. You've helped so many of our individuals. You've assisted them with getting onto the marketplace and finding them a plan. Mm-hmm. The other thing that we appreciate is Lauren will say, nope, I don't think it would be best for you to be on marketplace. You're an honest broker whenever it comes to getting in there, figuring out what's best for the person. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you guys too.
Thank you. All right. Well, let's dig right on in. Lauren, do we call it Obamacare?
I mean, you could.
What do you call?
We just refer to it as it was lawfully, was the Affordable Care Act. Just the way politics are, it can kind of get in the way by putting on certain names to things or make things confusing or convoluted. So we just reference it as the ACA or the Affordable Care Act. Yes, that was the implementation that Obama had put into during his administration, but there's a lot more explaining than just tying it up into one word.
Absolutely.
So
during this podcast today, for those of you that are listening, we are going to refer to the individual plan. We'll refer to it a lot as ACA. Mm-hmm. But please know that is ACA, Marketplace, Obamacare. Any other nicknames out there, Lauren, that we need to refer to?
No, I think that pretty much
I covered it. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. So when is it appropriate for someone? Can we just sign up for individual policy through ACA any time of year, or is there a certain time that we need to give you a call?
Well, it's kind of similar to your employer insurance. I kind of make that comparison to clients that, you have an open enrollment period that you can sign up during. Actually, now it is November 1st to January 15th. It used to be November 1st to December 15th, but they've extended it. And I think that's on the table right now to be permanently extended.
Oh, okay.
To have it.
So again, that open enrollment period is what dates?
November 1st to January 15th.
Okay.
And during that time, you can sign up on a new plan. You can change your current plan. No questions asked as far as health questions or anything like that. It's all, you apply, you have no waiting periods. You get that coverage right away.
No pre-existing.
Yeah, no, all pre-existing conditions are covered from day one. So
okay.
There's no waiting period.
So for example, let's just say that I was working for Enlighten Benefits, and all of a sudden I have now decided that I'm going to stay home and take care of my kids. And so I am no longer eligible for the group health insurance that Enlighten Benefits offered me. So we are setting, mid-year right now. Gosh, we're in, almost approaching July. So would that mean that I just don't have insurance until January 1st, or is there anything that can be done there?
Well, what you're referencing is called an SEP, which is a special enrollment period. And similar to like at your job, if you were to have a baby or have certain life circumstances that would change your situation, then you might be able to change mid-year or sign up mid-year. And that's the same thing with the ACA plans, is that they allow you certain life situations and circumstances where you could enroll. In losing your insurance, your qualified health plan elsewhere, like through a job, is one of those circumstances. Allows you to sign up so that you don't have a gap in coverage.
Perfect.
Another good example, Megan, is I get this a lot too. I don't know if you do, but if a child comes off at age 26, I get those phone calls that they've been covering their child. They've now pushed that to age 26. So now, and a lot of times you have 26-year-olds that are not working with a company that provides health insurance. So I get those questions. Okay, my son just turned 26. He fell off my insurance. Now what do I do?
Yeah, exactly. And so at that point, because they are losing their coverage and their qualified plan, they would be able to segue into an individual plan. And I think it's important to note that the individual plans on the marketplace, where you can buy plans through the ACA, they only start on the first of the month unless if it is a birth, and then it will start on the day of the birth. Okay. So, most plans, I think, through employers usually last until the end of the month. So usually there's no
break
gap
in
there.
coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great point to bring up. So Lauren, I had a client the other day that she had said, I went on to the marketplace website and I started looking around, and she said they required a lot of my personal information. And so she said, I put all of that personal information in, and she said, I kid you not. She said, I have been getting so many phone calls every day from salespeople. And she said, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm so confused. She said, it almost seems like every person who calls me has a different agenda. So before people hop on, and I definitely think there's some good information. I personally have been on there. I've looked around. I think there's some good information online. But what do you tell clients? Do you tell them to hop on and, put in their personal information, or would you really just prefer them to call your office first and have those conversations?
Yeah, I mean, the bad part about the internet is there can be different types of websites that you're putting this information on. You may not even be at the official marketplace website. You might be on other websites. I'll leave it at that.
Sure.
But where really it's an intermediary website, and they could be selling your information, or they could be dispersing that out to agents. So going to the marketplace and filling out an application on the healthcare.gov website, really you should not have agents calling you by doing that. They have help on demand options where you can actually get transferred out to agents, or if you ask for that. But it sounds like she might have gotten onto a website that, sent that information out to agents who are paying for that.
So the actual website is healthcare.gov.
Yes. So
that's the official.
There's probably healthcare.com and
yes,
all these other websites, but, and they can look official, but with anything online, really, it's probably just wise to find someone that, you can speak with, or find someone for a referral that, okay, this is a legitimate person. This isn't someone just from, 20 states away that has no idea about the networks here or the doctors or anything about our state in particular. And yes, so calling someone directly is a good idea. But, and of course I would love for that to be me, but, it's a lot better to be able to get the information you're looking for rather than just putting it out there on the internet and hoping people call you, because there's so many different types of individual plans.
Right.
There's short-term plans, there's indemnity plans, there are plans that cover pre-existing, there's plans that don't, there are plans that are income-based, there's health sharing programs that are like, different companies that have kind of a co-op, where they share cost sharing. And it definitely depends on who gets your information, and what they are able to sell, or what they do sell is what you're going to be getting. Oh, this is the best, or this is,
sure, what
this
their
is
agenda
the way
is
to go. So using a trusted person that kind of has access to all of these things that can say, okay, well, this isn't a good fit for you because of this, or your health situation would not be good for this type of plan, that sort of thing.
And I so appreciate what you said about networks and working with someone who's either in your state or at least in a surrounding state. Because I know you also are really good about knowing the networks. I had a client that I sent over to you not too long ago that was from Arkansas. Again, we're in Oklahoma, but we sent someone over and you knew all of the ins and outs of that network. So I think working with someone who isn't just nationwide, but is more focused on kind of your area, or your tri-state area at least, right? That kind of knows the ins and outs of those plans.
Right.
You also mentioned something that I wanted to pick up on. If I were to call in, you don't work for one particular carrier, correct? Because as Darla and I are brokers and we carry lots of different contracts. I mean, Darla and I are not tied to any one carrier particularly. We don't work just for Blue Cross or United Healthcare or Aetna, or that's the same thing with you, correct?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So as a broker, you're actually, in a sense, the agent for the client. You're representing the client in their best interests. And so you're not necessarily tied to one insurance company or another. And so really you're looking out for what their needs are, what would be the best fit for them, their budget, things like that. And then you shop all of the options for them and kind of lay it out for them. So when you're going to call a certain company directly, you're only going to get those options. You're only going to get what they have. So going with a independent broker gives you the wide view of all the things that are available to you.
So if I've been with, I'm just going to use one name in particular, like if I was on group health insurance with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, does that mean that I need, because I'm comfortable with them, does that mean that I need to only consider Blue Cross and Blue Shield if I were to go to the ACA? Or what would you advise? I know you said, I'm really going to look at lots of different things if you were analyzing me in my case. But, how do you kind of go through all of that? Do we just look for one particular carrier on the ACA, or how many different carriers even are there out there?
Well, they change year by year.
Okay.
So sometimes they expand and also contract in states. So that way, some years you may have 5, some years you may have 4 or 7. So they have to submit approval for those plans during the summer.
Okay.
Then those get approved. And then November 1, we find out, okay, well, who's actually here? Now, we find out a few months before that, okay, well, there's new carriers coming to the marketplace, but you won't actually, no one really knows, even the carriers don't know what the other carriers' plans are or that sort of thing. So it's kind of, we're all blind in the dark. And then whenever November 1st comes around, or maybe just a little before that, then all of a sudden everything's revealed. So then the tax credits for that year are revealed, the plan structures, the pricing, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. So really, if I'm wanting to enroll in something for, now we're going into 2023, I really don't need to contact you until at least after November 1st. That way you have all of your information and you can really advise me correctly.
Right.
Okay.
You could get a hypothetical situation for now to say, hopefully the market won't change much during from year to year. But sometimes when new carriers come in or new laws are passed, it can change a lot depending on your situation or your state you're in. But you could kind of, if you're thinking about maybe retiring or going to stay at home and you want kind of a hypothetical of, well, if I were to do that today, what would it be? Even though I can't give you next year's numbers, I can tell you what you would qualify for today. And then each year you just kind of shop it, because it used to be before with health insurance, you would stay with a company for 20 years or 25 years and you kind of just set it and forget it. But it's not like that at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite.